Hey North Haven, so this video is going to be the long form video for EdPuzzle, which means it's going to cover everything we covered in the webinar. If you don't want to watch this big long video and you just are interested in a specific skill, make sure that you check the Tech Help Drive or our YouTube channel, because there will be shorter videos that I'll post over the next week or so that will just go over specific skills. But again, we had people that were interested in the webinar but weren't able to be there for it. And I thought a shorter video that wasn't quite as long as the webinar would be more effective than somebody having to sit through the whole hour-long webinar. So the first thing you're going to do is, if you want to sign up for EdPuzzle and you haven't, you're going to click this blue button right here that says sign up, and it'll walk you through the process after that. I really recommend signing up with Google, because then afterwards, all you have to do to log in is click log in. I'm a teacher. And then down here at the bottom, sign in with Google. I click my name and I'm in. That's just an easier login than creating a separate login. So EdPuzzle, in case you're not aware of what it is just a platform that lets you take any video and add questions into the middle of it. So for instance, let's look at this video right here at the top. You see these little gray flags, the kind of tear-shaped flags at the bottom. So those are all either notes or questions. So this one right here was a note for the students, just like things that you would interject, if they were actually sitting in class with you. The other thing you can do with the videos is you can add questions. So this is the question. This is an open-ended question, so the students would type in their response and hit submit. You can also do multiple choice, and just like when we do multiple choice in forms, it will grade the multiple choice and it will give the students the feedback right away, whether or not they got the question right or not. And those are kind of nice features. So it's a way to kind of make sure that your students are interacting with your videos, that you give them a little bit more. It also, one of the nice features is it doesn't let them skip ahead. We can skip ahead because we're teachers and we're evaluating the videos, but when they have it, you can set it so they can't skip ahead. And so it kind of gets rid of some of the impetus to just cheat, because they still have to sit there and wait for it to get to the question and then put in the question. I'm not saying there are not kids that are not focused enough or determined enough to cheat, that they're going to get the answers from another student and watch the video and then put in those answers. But hopefully it'll just minimize it a little bit, is the goal. So in here, will always be the page that brings you first. It will just have some trending videos. Underneath that, it'll be ones that are trending specifically in Connecticut. If you come over to the left, you have your menu. The cool things over here are the curriculum, which is a way to sort videos by grade level, and then content. So if I want a middle school video, I click middle school, and then I can come to one of these areas. Let's say science, and then that'll even let me go in more. Okay, so let's say we're doing life science. And you can just keep on going until you find the videos. So that is one thing you can do. The other thing is that when you log in or sign up for the first time, it will ask you your district and your school. And the reason they do that is because it will then put your school here. And you can see, well, I've been playing with it in the summer, so most of these videos are videos that I've brought up. But there are 10 other teachers, so I can see the other teachers who are at the high school who have come in. And then if I click on their names, I can see videos that they use for their students. And I can even then click on the video, and then I can watch the video and see the questions and see if it's something I want to use. It's another way to collaborate with your team too, because you can take turns finding videos that work well for a course that you're teaching, that other teachers are also teaching, and you can share them with each other. So that is the nice thing about the school feature. The last thing over here on the menu that I think is important is my content. And this is how you access the videos that you've either assigned or edited. So you'll notice that under the videos, it has those little teardrop flags, and that just tells you how many notes or questions are in each video. Now, right now in the summer, we have a limit. There's a limit of 20 videos. So those are the main things over here on the left in the menu. You can also go through popular channels. I haven't found that to be very productive for me, but you can. So for instance, if you know you like Crash Course, you can click on Crash Course and it will just bring up Crash Course videos to search in up here at the search bar. The first thing you probably want to do once you sign up for EdPuzzle is create your classes. To do that, you come up over here on the right and click My Classes. So notice I already have my list of classes over here, but I can add a new class at any time by clicking Add New Class. The really easy way, of course, would be to sync with Google Classroom. All of mine are already synced. I don't know, they're pretty light if you can see the check marks, but there are check marks there. If they weren't, I would check the box and click Import Class, and it would bring it right in. The other way you can add a new class is click Create a New Class. And to do that, you put in your name and or a description. The classic class, this is really nice. So it's going to keep track of your students. It's going to have a grade book with how they did on each assignment. It's going to sync with Google Classroom. If you want it to sync with Google Classroom, it's going to put their real names in. This is probably what you're going to want to do. But if for some reason you want something a little less formal and you're just going to use it occasionally, you can use Open. And for that, you would give the students a code every time you wanted them to access the video. They would go in, they don't have to create an account, they just put in a nickname, kind of similar to how they would do with Kahoot. They just put in the code, put in their nickname, but then unlike Kahoot where they're doing it as a group in the class, they would just watch the video on their device, answer the questions, and submit it at the end. So that is another option if you don't think you're going to be doing a lot of graded videos. You could do Open. I think in general, most of us are going to want Classic instead. Then you click Create Class. Your class is made. So you're not actually going to add students to your class, like is one of the options in Google Classroom. If you did sync Google Classroom, they will come in automatically. So if you see down here, I have my students already. If you didn't sync with Google Classroom, what you're going to have to do is invite them or have them put in a class code. So you can invite them by emailing them the class code, or if you have younger students, what you can do is you can just put this class code up on your screen in your classroom, or if we're doing distance learning, you can maybe, if you're using Seesaw, put it on Seesaw or email it to the parents, and they will have to log into EdPuzzle and put in that class code. So that's another reason maybe why using Google Classroom to roster your students is probably a good plan. When you're done with a class, you can always lock it, which is this button here. You have class options up over here on the right, and those are just, it's really simple, you guys. They don't have a lot of options. It's just your name and your description and whether or not you want to delete the class. After creating a class, the next thing you're going to want to do is probably send your students an assignment. If you've synced with Google Classroom, the nice thing is you don't have to have the students sign up separately from the first assignment. You can send them the first assignment and it will prompt them to log in with Google that time, and it doesn't have to be a separate thing that they do. To make an assignment, the first thing you have to do is pick a video. So you can just search for videos by coming up here to the search content and find a video. One thing to be careful of is that YouTube automatically restricts videos from the safe search when they're uploaded, and they don't become safe videos until they've been reviewed. So when we're on EdPuzzle, sometimes you can pick a YouTube video that maybe another district that doesn't have safe search on, a teacher has made questions for, and then you go to send it to your students and they can't access it. To avoid that, what you want to do is come to YouTube, sign in with your work account, click on your initial, and then see down here where at the very bottom where it says restricted mode off. If I click on that, this little pop-up comes up here, and I just turn this toggle on. So the nice thing about that is now I'm not going to be able to view any videos that my students can't view. So I know for sure that if I find a video and it's running and it works for me, and it doesn't say this video has been not censored, but this video isn't restricted, then I know that my students will be able to see that video. So that's just a little tip, something to do before you spend all the time finding a video and assigning it and then realize your kids can't view it. Once you've set it so that you can see the same videos as your students, one way is, of course, to find videos with your curriculum. Another way is to come up to this search bar and enter in a topic. So if I want to do improper fractions, that will bring up videos just with improper fractions. And then just like we noticed before, these ones already have questions. This one doesn't have any questions put in. I can also search YouTube itself if I want to. Sometimes you get better results that way. I don't know why. So, like I know I like the Math Antics guy. So I can come to, and this is mixed numbers, not improper fractions, but we'll go with it for now. I can click this URL and copy it, come to EdPuzzle and paste it in the search bar. And it's just going to bring it right up for me to add my own questions. Now, one thing you can do is if you want to see if other people have already made the questions for this video, instead of editing it, which I'll show you how to do later, you can just click finish and then scroll down. And now you can see all the different people and the questions that they added. And see, notice this one has questions. It also has audio notes. And this person did a complete voiceover, so you might not want that. That means they made their own recording over it instead of using the audio recording. So that's one way that you can find a video with questions where you know you like the video and it has questions in it. If you want to make your own questions, then what you can do is you click on the video. Here it is. And then over here on the right, you're going to click edit. So the first thing it lets you do is cut, and you can only trim from the beginning or the end. Okay, you can't trim in the beginning, in the middle, which is what it is. You can also completely replace the audio with your own voiceover. If for some reason you don't like the audio and but you like the background video, you can just make your own voiceover. The last category is really what we want, which is questions. And the way you add questions, you start the video, and mine is muted right now, just so you don't have two audio tracks going. And when you get to a place where you want to either add a note for your students, an open-ended question, or a multiple choice question, you just hit that button. So let's say I want to add a note at the beginning of the video to remind them of something we covered before, some kind of background knowledge. I can type it, I can add a link, I can put in an image, or if I want to, I can add an audio note by clicking this microphone right here. And then when I'm done, I just click save. So for now, I'm just going to put note 1, so there's something in there. And then it shows up right there. Now I can click play again. It'll keep going. And let's say I want them to do a question now. I put in a question. And the way we add questions is you type your question in the first box. There's ways to add math, an image. You can link to another video, I guess, if you want to, or a website or whatever you might want to link to. And you have a little bit of formatting options. Then you can put your answers in these boxes here. And whichever answer is correct, you put the green check mark by that box. And whichever ones are incorrect, you put the red check box. If you want to, you can add more questions by clicking add another question or add another answer choice. If you want to take away an answer choice, you click the X at the top of the answer choice. A nice option here, if you want to, it could be time consuming, but is for this answer, it was wrong. If I want to, I can add by feedback, just like we did in forms. So if you click feedback, you can type the answer should have been this because this and this. And then to go back to the question, you click click the question again, and then there's the actual answer. And notice now that I have feedback, my arrows are green, which lets me know there's feedback for that answer. When you're done making that question, you click save, and that's done. You can click continue or play. It'll keep going. The other option is the open-ended question, same thing. You have the same options to put in information. You can add feedback, but they aren't really going to need the feedback for this one, but you can put it in there if you want to. Once you're done, you click save, and then you can either hit continue or click play, and it'll keep going. When you're done, you click finish up here on the top right, and then now we can assign it. So you click assign here, and since I have Google Classroom, I can send it right to my Google Classroom. How to train your direwolf. I can select the start date. It doesn't have to be the same day, but it can be. I can make a due date. This is the prevent skipping option, which doesn't let the students skip ahead to the questions. They have to wait for the video to get there. And I can also have it post on Google Classroom right away. Once I'm done setting those options, I click assign. And if I come over to my Google Classroom and come to that classroom in Google, you can see that it's been posted for my students and it's already available in stream. So that is how you assign a video in EdPuzzle. Another thing you can do is come over to My Content, and over here on the right where it says Add Content, you can upload a video. So if you have videotaped a Google Meet, or you've made your own video, we're doing distance learning maybe, you click Upload a Video, and you just drag your video into here, or if it's in Drive, you click Drive. And notice it just pulls up the videos from my Drive, so I'm just going to select the first video in my Drive, and now it's available right here. Well, it will be available once it finishes uploading. And to edit it, you just edit it the same way you edited the other videos. If you want to edit a video, or if you want to assign a video that you found before but you didn't assign yet, you just find that video and there's a little checkbox at the bottom right. And from there you can click assign, you can edit it, and you can also delete it. You can also, if you want to, you can create folders. So I haven't created folders yet, but let's say I wanted to make a math folder. I create that folder and then select it and move it. And now I have a folder that has it's a video in it. And so your folders will just be at the top. It's a nice way to organize your topics. After you've assigned a video, you're going to want to grade it. To do that, you come to Gradebook. And over here on the left, you have your different classes. I'm going to go to How to Train My Direwolf. I've already graded this video, but I'm just going to show you how it works. So this video, I have 2 students that completed it out of 3. To grade it, I have a couple different options. One way is just to click on the top student, and it will originally not have a grade if it's not multiple choice. So this is one that wasn't multiple choice. It was open-ended, and it just lets you click green or red right here, the check or the X, depending on whether or not they got it right. You can add a comment if you want to, but if you're just clicking right or wrong, you can scroll through. And then after you finish, you come up to the very top and click next student. And this student didn't answer it, so we skip them, we go to the next student, and same thing. I've already gone through and clicked the check mark for all of them, but if they had one wrong, I would just click the X and add a comment. Once you're done, it'll bring you all the way back to the beginning. You can come to this page, okay, and so the way I did that is I clicked this. It's done. It has all of their grades, when they last watched it, and when they turned it in. So for right now, this export grades to your learning management system, if you're in Google Classroom, will automatically send it to Google Classroom. So if I come over to my class again and go to grades, that assignment is now in here and graded, and that's already in there. The other thing you can do is you can download the grades. And if I don't include the questions, it's just a simple spreadsheet with the student's name and it also has like how long they watched it and everything, but I don't want that. If I delete that, there are a couple other steps I could do, and then I could upload that to PowerSchool instead of having to enter the grades one by one, which is kind of a nice thing. So those are ways that you can access and grade it. The other way, let me come back to it. The other way to grade the assignment is to click the title at the top, and then you can click on the students and scroll down to grade, just like we did before. It is good to note that you only have to do that for short answer questions. If you do an EdPuzzle with the multiple choice, it will grade automatically for you. And so you wouldn't have to do that. When you came in after they watched the videos, it would have all the grades already put in there for you.